Hey, today I want to talk to you about quantity over quality. I think in business and in the creative world, people hold high the notion that you've got to produce the best quality product, the best quality service, the best quality marketing, the best quality assets for your business, the best quality logo, and the list goes on and on and on. But I actually see it a different way. I think quality is what stifles a lot of growth. Having a very high standard when it comes to releasing your product or your service or your marketing, because it has to be perfect. You have a perfectionist mentality that actually stops you from actually releasing, stops you from launching, stops you from doing so many things. And so what I've realized in my life, and when I've looked at people out there who are very successful, they value quantity over quality. Now, of course, if you're a doctor, this principle does not work for you, okay? So, doctor, it's all about the quality. First time, bang, you get one shot at saving someone's life. So there are some industries where this doesn't work, but definitely in marketing or web design business, it is about the quantity of output that you create. So you can either create a blog post a year, a blog post a month, or a blog post a week, or a blog post a day. Which one do you think would be more beneficial for you? Of course, one blog post a day. And why? Well, it's because every time you create something and release it to the world, that is the art of creation. You go through a holistic process of writing, editing, publishing, and promoting. And if you only do one a month, you only get to do that iteration once a month. But if you do it once a week, you're doing it 4 times a month. And if you do it once a day, you're doing it 20 times a month if you're doing it Monday to Friday. And that quantity of production will increase the quality. Because the more times you do it, inherently the standard will go up as you find shortcuts, as you get really good at writing and editing, and you get experience. And so I want to encourage you today that don't go for perfection in your marketing. Don't go for trying to, create something that's perfect. What you've got to do is say, how many times can I do this? Because the 20th time is going to be 20 times better than the first time. I always think about musicians, and my son's a musician, and I always speak to him, and I say, well, he came to me and he said, "Oh, Dad, I want to create an album, an EP, and I want to, over the next 6 months, I'm going to create 10 songs. I'm going to release those 10 songs on an album." And I said, no, you don't want to do that. That's the worst idea ever. What you want to do is create a song a week. And over the next 6 months, you release 26 songs. And every time you produce a song, the first one won't be very good. And you're probably going to have to cut a few shortcuts, because to hit that 1 week deadline, it's going to take a few shortcuts. But the second time you do it, you're going to be faster. And the 10th time, you're going to be really fast. And maybe you can reach that 90% completion. The first time it might be 60% complete, then 70% complete, then 80%. But eventually, you'll get very close to being perfect. But you don't care about perfection, because what you care about is releasing every week. Why? Because every week, you'll get better at the process of writing, recording, producing, mastering, releasing, and promoting and creating the video for that song that you release. And you know what the beauty of that is? Is that his fans, although very limited at the moment, will actually be able to look at the record over a 6-month period of where he's started out and the song is probably very bad. And 6 months later, when the song is pretty amazing and they've seen the journey and the progression of every single step of the way. And I said to him, what you should do is create a video explaining how you created each song with the song when you release it. And people really want that. Can you see that's a little lesson in marketing, right? Marketing, because you produce lots of content. People can watch your journey. Gary Vee says something that's pretty amazing. He says, don't create, document. And in business, document the process. Like even this video that I'm talking to you today about. This is something I've been thinking about and talking about in meetings with clients. So I just come in here and I click on my live stream and I teach it to you. And so I'm not creating a lot of this content. I'm documenting what I experience with clients. And so as a musician or as a web designer, create as much as you can, but release it. Don't keep it to yourself. I always say, musicians, you're not really a musician. You're not really an artist if you haven't released music. What you are is a person that sits in their bedroom and write songs for themselves. But when you produce, when you release, that makes you the artist, it makes you the musician. So in your business, I want to encourage you to look at quantity over quality. So very quickly, I want to just have a look here, and I want to tell you why it works. But this principle works right when it comes to mastery. Um, this is why quality beats sorry, let's do that again. This is why quantity beats quality. Okay, number one is practice. You get lots of practice at doing the same thing over and over again. And when you're marketing, every time you run a campaign and it fails, you do it again and again and again. And that repetition is what makes you better. The other thing when it goes to mastery, it really is about time. You need time. You need time to think about it, to delve on it, to assess what went wrong, what went right, to think the strategy, change it. I was just on a call this morning with my students who are web designers who were building their businesses, and we had an issue with one of the lead magnets, and so we all got together and we brainstormed how we could actually solve it. Now, I could have solved that by myself, but what I did is I did it with them so they could go through the experience again and again, the practice and the time of solving a problem so they can do it for their clients as well. And then the last thing with mastery is you really need depth. You need depth of knowledge, depth of experience. So when you really master a topic, whether it's SEO or creating websites or selling websites or marketing websites on Facebook, you need depth. You need to go beyond the top layer that says run a Facebook ad. You need to say, no, run a Facebook ad that has a irresistible offer. And that offer leads to a page where you get them into some sort of quiz to stretch the gap in their pain. And on the page after that, you ask them to book a call to solve that gap that you just created. Can you see that depth there? Everyone knows about a Facebook ad, but how many people understand what I just said then? How do I know how to do that? Because I've practiced. I've tried things and they haven't worked. I've spent time, week after week, month after month, testing these ads. And finally, I have a level and depth of knowledge that very few people have in the web design space to generate these leads because I have truly mastered the topic. And do you know how I mastered it? Not by creating perfect quality campaigns. I just created a quantity, a huge amount of tries and failures and tries. And the quantity beat the quality. And now my quality has increased. Now, the last thing I want to say about this is you get quality through quantity. People think you get quality through sitting and mastering and understanding and planning and scheming and then releasing to the world. No, that doesn't bring quality. That brings ignorance. It brings a lack of experience because you never do it. What brings experience is quantity. Every time you do it from beginning to end, you create a campaign, you release the campaign, you assess the campaign, you readjust it, and you iterate again. Every time you do that process, that full process, it brings a lift in quality of your campaigns. All right, so I hope that helps. It's a bit out there from what I normally talk about, but I really believe that this is something that has really driven me over the last few years and one of the reasons why I've been so successful in what I've done in my own business and also in my coaching. So, look, if you are looking at growing your web design business and this really resonated with you, or some of the reasons why you might not be doing as well as you would like, I want to encourage you to book in a scale session with me. It's basically a 15-minute chat. And on that call, it's a brainstorm where we're going to look at some of these concepts. We're going to find out what are the 3 things that are blocking you from growing. We're going to find 3 action steps that you can actually take today to actually move ahead and get that growth in the business. And for some of you, you might want to find out how to work with me, but that's fine. If you're not one of those people, we'll give you the plan and you can move on. And so that's why I do these sessions. I know that it's a very small amount will want to work with me, and that's my incentive. And my other incentive is I get to work with you and help you. It's a very short amount of time, but it's very high impact. So click the button below this video or around this video, or find somewhere where you can contact me, book in a 15-minute scale session with me. I look forward to speaking to you soon.